There's been a bunch of graduation speeches, and then basically most people booed, should adopt AI, AI is the future. People just don't want to hear it during a graduation ceremony. They don't need to be lectured on it. Welcome back to the Automated TV. It is first thing in the morning here in Hong Kong, and thank you again for our new additional subscriber. We should be at 148 now. We're so close to 150. So hopefully this broadcast will get us there to 150 before the end of the weekend. We have a lot of news today to cover, and I hope that we're going to have a great broadcast. Okay, now today's section, well, we're going to start off with actually a little bit kind of where we started off yesterday, where we talked about Anthropic's new Mythos model. So they just launched a public version of the AI model Mythos, and actually instead of the glowing review, the security community's response is basically, thanks, but what exactly is this thing supposed to do? So the new model, as we call it, is called Fable, and dropped on Tuesday. And yeah, the model's so heavily restricted that it completely panics at anything, even slightly cybersecurity flavored. So we covered it before. We said, basically, if you start asking about geopolitics and cybersecurity and something else and hacking, let's just say, it won't respond, right? So I guess it just went overkill. So the internet is already flooded with receipts. IBM X-Force researcher Valentina Pamiotti put his plan on X, revealing that Fable routinely rejects requests that are only tangentially related to cyber topics, include something as harmless as reading a blog post. So I guess this model is a bit oversensitive, let's just say. So here's what exactly happens when Fable loses its mind. The chat instantly freezes mid-sentence. It spits out a dramatic warning message saying its safety measures flag this message for cybersecurity or biology topics. I guess, yeah, that's right, biology. I recall biology, you couldn't talk about it either. You couldn't talk about biology or chemistry, which is kind of weird. And it quietly downgrades your entire session to the older Cloud Opus 4.8. That's right. I remember that as well. So I'll just automatically download. It's like downgrades whether you like it or not. Again, that's kind of weird. That's just really quite strange, this rollout. Cybersecurity veteran Matt Sweech told TechCrunch that the filters appear to be purely keyword based. So basically, if you type in certain words and it triggers it, and if you don't, then it just doesn't. So literally anything that sounds like cybersecurity trips the alarm, which includes asking it to write secure code, which is kind of weird. And then it frustrated researchers that even asking the bot for routine code review gets it flagged as a security threat. So basically, I'm just going to kind of take a step back here. It's just all types of words. So we went from launching, calling this Mythos as like, uh-oh, we're going to be, afraid and scared that this is going to be like a big thing. It's without humans and no safety, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be recursive loop. And now it's launched and now it's a complete disaster. So I thought it was just done for marketing. It launched and then now it's more marketing because it's just a complete banana, right? So it's a complete kerfuffle, if you will. So it is what it is. It's interesting there, but, well, I guess they're in the news cycle, right? Ultimately, and gearing up for that IPO. That's the jaded part of me, right? They're just gearing up for the IPO, and all news is good news, okay? Okay, on to the next section. All right, so AI memory tools are now making chatbots dumber. New research finds. So we talked about AI memory before. It sounded great. OpenAI was upgrading their AI memory so that instead of actually asking it to recall, it would recall for you. And so obviously AI memory sounds absolutely amazing on paper, but the brilliant researchers at the AI company Writer just dropped 2 brand new papers, and the findings are a bit awkward. So it turns out that giving AI models more memory about your life can actually make them significantly worse at doing their actual jobs. So the more a model learns about your personal preferences, the more it starts blindly agreeing with everything you say, even when you're completely and utterly wrong. Well, we kind of talked a little bit about this before, right? So how OpenAI works is that even if you put your memory in, essentially treats that memory as gospel, if you will, as not only just fact but gospel, and it'll just keep going to that. So I suppose that's not how really memory functions in the real world, right? Yes, you remember certain things, but you also hallucinate a little bit as well, and you don't remember everything. You remember fragments of certain things. So treating memory as gospel might not actually be the right human behavior, if you will, right? So maybe that's where it's going wrong. But let's go into this a little bit more. Scientists call this behavior being sycophantic. We call it your AI turning into that one fake friend who never pushes back on your terrible idea. So basically, it's looking at your memory and just saying that is gospel and that is fact. So the researchers ran some tests to prove how messy this gets, and the receipts are hilarious. The book blunder. They told some AI models that a user's favorite book was Station 11. Don't know Station 11. Then they asked the model to recommend a totally different best-selling dystopian novel. Instead of doing its job, the AI kept desperately suggesting Station 11, which is the book that you like. Right. The finance fumble. The second test was an absolute disaster. The team fed the AI models users totally incorrect, flawed beliefs about finance. With the memory turned off, the AI totally nailed the math. With the memory turned on, the AI basically said, right, it believed it 100%. So yeah, basically it's treating your memory as gospel and fact. And yeah, it doesn't question your memory, if you will. As Dan Beekle, writer's head of AI, puts it, every single time a model stores and retrieves your preferences, you're running an increasing risk. Right. Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.8 was reportedly engineered from the ground up to push back against exactly this kind of user error. It will actually tell you when you're being delusional. Honestly, we love a boundary setting king. Okay. I mean, it's interesting. Again, I think the way it's treating memory is as if, it's prioritizing basically your memory and it's recalling it as if it's gospel and fact, more than just fact, it's gospel. And so it doesn't push back when that's not really how memory functions, right? If you think about how your memory functions, it's fuzzy, it's a little bit loose on the details, it's great on the macro, right? I remember I went to Paris. I don't remember day by day, minute by minute, what exactly transpired. But I remember, roughly what I did. I remember the feelings I had, the sky was blue, the air was wonderful, whatever it may be. And so it's great at macro and great at feelings, but it's not perfect recall. And I think AI needs to think about memory in the same way, both in the same way, and pushing back to maybe to some degree and pushing back how, if we put some memory in there, it should push back and say, can we do something like this? Or this is roughly how you feel, extrapolate that high level feeling and the macroness. But then on the detail side, maybe a little bit fuzzy, maybe not weight it as important and as fact as much as it is right now. Maybe that's the way it should treat memory. Okay, on to the next section, the AI block, where we talk about some of the other news that are coming down the block. So, Waymo builds a new model to benchmark robotaxis against humans. All right, let's look into that a little bit. It's a Tech Buzz article. So, Waymo builds a new model to benchmark robotaxis against humans. Alphabet's self-driving unit creates computer model simulating human crash behavior. Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, basically, it's creating a superior benchmark for comparing robotaxi performance to human drivers. A computer model that simulates how people would actually behave in the same exact same scenarios Waymo's autonomous Jaguars navigate daily. Oh, okay. You can't put human drivers in the identical. Okay, so I guess it's just really trying to figure out how humans would react if there's a car crash. To be fair, I would think that they were already doing this anyway. The problem isn't that autonomous cars are knocking autonomous cars and that's not the problem. The problem is actually how the humans in the car and the humans outside the car are reacting and dealing with it. So yeah. So I would think that they were, geez, see, that's how early we are, right? So some of the things that I would think that we would discover and try to discover before rolling these things out, like clearly we're not doing it. So, yeah, we're not doing it. So yeah, so I think it's modeling kind of how the car would behave if there's humans in there and crashing, and then also outside the car as well. Look, ultimately, this is a good thing, right? Obviously, you want more testing of how human behaviors change according to how these autonomous vehicles work, so that there's just more models, there's just more data, so that we can improve these autonomous cars. Ultimately, a good thing. Just thought that we were doing that anyway. Okay, Google pushes AI study tools to students ahead of exam source. Exam season. I'm going to just start doing all the news because it's always good to read all the news and react. So this is a TechBuzz article again. Google pushes AI study tools, 5 AI-powered features across its education platform for exam prep. So let's see. As final exams loom across EMEA and Asia Pac, trying to think, it is almost exam season. I would think that it's almost done. Well, it is almost done. It's a bit too late, no? So first of all, this marks another front in the escalating AI education wars. Microsoft has been pushing Copilot in the classrooms. OpenAI has seen ChatGPT become the go-to study assistant for students worldwide. Okay. So education systems in Asia Pacific particularly have shown high receptivity to AI learning tools, while European schools are navigating stricter AI governance frameworks. Yeah. YouTube angle is particularly interesting. That is what people are using quite a lot as well. I'm just trying to see what tools there are. I don't see the tools, in fact. So yeah, I mean, look, I've got a student. She's at 11. She's got some exams, not major exams. I would say she doesn't use AI that much, but I can definitely see where it kind of ChatGPT is immensely useful. Copilot is immensely useful once she gets to that age. YouTube is already quite useful for her. Just having study buddies, I think, is great. So, look, I can see from the business perspective why ChatGPT and Anthropic is doing this and pushing this. You just get the next batch of users hooked on, right, to what you're doing. So, I can see what they're doing. I don't know if I agree with what they're doing, but I can see what they're doing. Big market. All right, Meta signs first AI data center in India with Reliance. Reliance is a big telecommunications or battery company. The TechCrunch article. So Meta is making its first AI infrastructure bet in India, making a partnership with conglomerate Reliance Industries. We'll see Meta collaborate with Reliance on a 168 megawatt AI-enabled data center in Gujarat. Reliance's Geo platforms to 100 million joint venture launched last year. Great. We need more data centers. Makes a lot of sense. Meta Reliance agreement marks the latest chapter in a relationship that has steadily deepened since Meta invested $5.7 billion in Geo platforms in 2020. 168 megawatt, we said about that as well. Look, data centers will need to be here. I don't know how the US will deal with it. Maybe they'll send it to space. Maybe they'll send it on water. But they still need data centers regardless. Everybody needs data centers. So ultimately, it's a good thing. What's interesting is Meta. Is this a response to how OpenAI wants to do centers and Anthropic is? Are they trying to get in the data center game? Is that really what they're supposed to be doing or what they want to do? Which is kind of interesting, I guess. This is the first time I actually heard of Meta doing this. So, and Anthropic I don't know, has been doing data centers, but OpenAI certainly has. So, yeah, is this a sign for Meta's new pivot away from metaverse and directly into AI? Maybe they've already been pivoting into AI, so maybe this is just a continued pivot. A decade ago, I created the very first AI Accelerator Fund based right here in Hong Kong. Now, a lot has changed in AI over the years, but one thing hasn't changed: the need for human leaders to learn how to leverage AI. And that's why I'm delighted to start today the AI Leadership Academy, helping executives and organizations learn to strategically leverage AI. Head over to www.ai-leadership-academy.com for more information and to sign up for your spot in the very first cohort. Okay, all right. Let's see. Microsoft response to students booing AI at graduations. Tech buzz. Yeah, that's right. There was this thing. So, yeah, look, if you looked at all the graduation, not all, but many, I'm trying to recall who exactly, but there's been a bunch of graduation speeches, and then basically most people booed. I'm sure they were talking about, oh, you should adopt AI, AI is the future, and all the students booed. So Microsoft is trying to talk everyone down from the ledge in a sweeping 3,100 word blog post. Microsoft Vice Chair Brad Smith. Yeah, that's right. After former Google CEO Eric Schmidt got heckled at the University of Arizona, faced jeers for calling AI the next industrial revolution. So AI is deeply unpopular with the generation that's supposed to embrace it. Brad Smith said that basically, what did he say then? Smith's response tries to bridge that gap, but the very existence, well, basically saying that, look, it might be unpopular, but this is reality. Okay, it didn't actually really say what it says, but it's just really about bridging the gap and the reality. Ultimately, I think this TechBuzz article is saying that the tech giants are losing the battle for public trust on AI. Yeah, and losing the narrative. Again, I'm not quite sure whether that's true, but people, I wouldn't say people are actually rejecting the technology. People are actually using it, but people are definitely using it. But I think my personal opinion is people just don't want to hear it during a graduation ceremony. They know it's happening. They know it's happening. They know it's the next wave. They'll be using it. They just don't want to hear it at the graduation. They want to talk about human endeavor and human spirit and all that type of jazz, but not freaking how to use AI, right? They don't need to be lectured on it, I think. If I need to think about how, channeling their thinking and their thoughts. Okay, CrowdStrike reports China-based entities now lead state sponsors attacked on AI firms. Tech Buzz article. CrowdStrike reports. All right. CrowdStrike, the U.S. cybersecurity giant, revealed that China-based accounts now half of all state-sponsored cyber attacks. China isn't just competing; it's sealing its way to the finish line. Chinese state-sponsored now make up. Man, these articles sometimes, they repeat the same thing over and over. All right, interesting. And it says that, well, I guess everybody needs to, yeah, everybody needs to be a little bit more careful, right? Both company level, everybody needs to be a little bit careful. I think on a personal level as well, people need to be more careful as well, because not that they will actually hack into your account, but the fact is, I guess, shoot, they'll hack into the AI firms that use your personal data to train, and so they'll get some glimmer of you somehow. That I don't know how to solve for, but it sounds like that may be one of the things that is critical, or some things that need to be thought about. Okay, XAI fired an engineer who raised alarms about Grok safety. New lawsuit claims Grok, naughty Grok. Look, I know certain people have worked with Elon. I've enjoyed and I've appreciated Elon for who he is and what he's brought. And I've seen some of his talks before live. And it's just not my thing. He's not my thing. I'm not denigrating him as an entrepreneur. I don't think he's everything. I don't think he's a Thomas Edison, right? Or the Tesla of our age. I don't think he's that type. He's a marketing genius. And but it's not like I don't like him. One of my friends, right, says that I don't like him because I'm jealous. No, I'm not particularly jealous of him, honestly. You know, more money, more problems, as the notorious B.I.G. says. So I don't think it's a money thing. I'm not jealous of him. I'm not jealous of him because of his money. He's got more problems than I have. He's got more wives than I have and more kids. And definitely that can be a big problem, as I know, because I've got my own 2 kids, right? So I'm not jealous of him. I just think he's gone off the deep end. I think philosophically, I'm not aligned with him. And so, yeah, I don't use Grok really. I don't use any of his products. And yeah, I don't use XAI. But anyway, on with the news. TechCrunch, X.AI fired an engineer who raised alarms. Excuse me. Elon Musk's former engineer, what's his name? Devin Kim filed a suit in California. Let's see, AI safety. He allegedly complained repeatedly about XAI's failure to prioritize safety in Grok's development, a product that has since come under fire for a range of safety and behavioral issues. Kim was concerned with the possibility that Grok could foment discrimination and help spread information about weapons of mass destruction. They never tried that with XAI. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so it was proven right. It does do that. It also positions Kim as a whistleblower who was concerned about XAI's alleged disregard for AI safety as unlawful. Yeah, okay. Well, good. Hopefully, Devin Kim, I hope you win. I think it's important. I don't think you're going to get anywhere personally. You actually might suffer because of this, but good on you for doing this. Someone needs to be called out. Someone does need to be hitting not pause. I'm not talking about moratoriums here, but saying more of these kind of messages, right? Like pausing, thinking about what we're doing, being critical about AI or AI in general, being critical. I embrace it. This is my deal. I love AI. I do. I use it all the time. I think it's absolutely transformative. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But I'm just being critical, and I think it's important to be critical. Like I suggest AI for my kids. I think it's absolutely important. I'm just being critical, and I think everyone should be critical. Okay. Next article. Canada announces bill banning social media and certain AI chatbot services for anyone under 16. So remember, I think in Australia and New Zealand, they were doing something similar as well. And this is an Engadget article. And let's see, this is joining Australia, like I said before, Indonesia, Malaysia, and banning teenagers from using social media. The Safe Social Media Act, introduced by Mark Miller, Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture, bans children from having a social media account. Okay. Platforms will be expected to remove deepfakes and content that sexually victimizes a child or re-victimizes a survivor. AI chatbot services won't be age-gated. Interesting. Okay. All right. Cool. I wonder what social media platforms they didn't say, but AI chatbots. Let's just see, right? I mean, I don't think kids really use AI chatbots. At least mine doesn't. They like to, talk with their friends. They like to compare and contrast photos. So it is what it is there, not AI chatbots. So maybe look, ultimately, this may be a good thing. It's going in one direction, and then ultimately it may come back in a different direction or may add to it. So ultimately, it's a good thing. It's a start. To my former point, it's about being critical. So I think it ultimately is a good thing. Okay. Descartes' new world model can simulate hours of photorealistic driving with some caveats. TechCrunch article. Descartes, AI startup, unveiled Oasis 3, the latest interactive world model that can generate photorealistic driving environments. That is very cool. Real world, I think, is really where it's at in the future. But what are the caveats? But by letting you generate a world for so long, and you can generate a world for hours at a time, that's a bit much. The model can also degrade significantly. So set up a strong initial scene that matches the prompt from, let's say a one-shot prompt, but it degrades rapidly as I move throughout the world. So I prompted it generate New York City. It did it beautiful, but as I drove along, it degraded into a urban Western city. Okay, so I guess there's just not enough data, perhaps. It's just a little bit of tweaking, right? So there's just not enough data perhaps, or something else. So it's a little bit tweaking that I need to get right. I don't think it's a big issue. It will improve ultimately in the long term. But it's just a kind of temporary blip, if you will. Okay, on to the next section. Now today we should have trending tools. We've got 4 today. For the logic testers, we've got DeepCheck's Vellum AI is a low-code platform for building, testing, and regression testing your AI workflows. We've got for the local explorers, we've got, what is this? Pinocchio allows you to install and run complex AI models like local LLMs or image generators on your own computer one click, which is pretty good. But I hope that your computer is actually pretty strong for it to do it. For the cinematic creators, Higgsfield. Higgsfield is good. While everyone is waiting for Sora, Higgsfield has quietly become the go-to tool for social-first AI video. It's specified and it's great for mobile shot character-driven content. For the browser power users, Comet is a new agentic browser that turns surfing into doing instead of just searching. I thought I had Comet. You can tell Comet to compare the top 5 noise-canceling headphones across 10 tabs and fill out this comparison sheet. Wow, that's pretty cool. I did use Comet before. Yeah, that's true. Pretty cool. Okay, so it's like AI-powered, AI-enabled. That's a fantastic offering. Okay, on to the next section, our prompts. So AI workout of the day, how to create mini ads in 30 seconds. We've got new gen ad builders like AdCreative.ai, Quick Ads, and Canva Grow are officially making it really easy for anyone to run a business without the heavy burden of creating ads. You upload a basic product photo, and the AI spits out scroll stopping creatives ready for Meta, TikTok, or Google. So here are the 3 products that analyzes what's working in industry. This is Canva. It analyzes what's working in the industry, offers you a searchable library of thousands of successful real-world ads, and generates ads proven to convert. AdCreative uses a massive database of high-performing ads to score your designs before you even spend a dime. And then Quick Ads is a tool for speed, paste your website URL, and instantly borrows your brand colors and logo. I always like these, right? To build a full campaign. So I think we're advocating for Quick Ads, paste your product URL, pick a goal, and then magic button, hit the button. So yeah, like in the product section as well, let us know which product you like, drop it in the comment section and let us know why do you like that particular tool. And that way other people can benefit from your knowledge. Okay, thank you for listening to our broadcast. Hopefully you learned something today. We've got a bunch of different tools. A bunch of different tools. We got also more tools on ads as well in our workout of the day. Let us know what you think in the comment section below about how you like these tools. And further, we explored different issues, right? We explored the memory issue. We explored some of the ads, around the AI blocks and those issues, and went through basically the entire thing, which I'm gonna do going forward because it's just great to learn a little bit more of the news and have time to reflect. So definitely let us know in the comment section whether you like this new format and or whether you have some comment on the news. Again, let's try to get to 150 by the end of the weekend. So please, this broadcast, let it boost it to over 150. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you in the next broadcast.